Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be talking to you today about singer, songwriter, actor Trey Songz. Songz is in the news not for his musical endeavors, but today he's in the news because of a lawsuit that has been filed by a bartender that had an altercation with him back in 2019. Uh, the Shade Room is reporting via TMZ that the bartender, who is unnamed, uh, uh, had an altercation with Trey Songz on May 9th of 2019 when Trey was attending a Cardi B concert at the Hollywood Palladium in, it doesn't say where, but the Hollywood Palladium, I assume it's in Los Angeles. Things allegedly escalated to where the bartender told Trey that he could not sit at the bar to watch the concert, and he says he gently put his hand on Trey's shoulder, but things turned violent. The bartender says that when Trey allegedly turned around, he punched him in the head and turned back around to watch the Cardi B show as if nothing had happened. The bartender says that he suffered physical pain, emotional, and psychological injury as a result of the attack. He is suing for an undisclosed amount for damages, pain, and suffering. Also, if you take a look back at Trey's recent history, in 2016, following a performance at the Joe Louis Arena, Songz was arrested and charged with the felony assault of a police officer and misdemeanor aggravated assault for injuring a photographer. It is alleged that the singer began throwing objects after the venue cut his concert short due to an 11:30 p.m. curfew, and to have struck the officer with his fist. Songz pleaded guilty in 2017 to 2 reduced counts of disturbing the peace and was sentenced to 18 months of probation, substance abuse screening, and anger management classes. In June 2018, Songz was sued in federal court for the incident that took place following the 2016 concert. A Detroit police officer alleges that the lawsuit that he suffered was career-ending and caused brain injury, and he had to undergo hip replacement when Songz allegedly punched him in the face. The officer at that the officer alleged that after being hit, he and Songz fell to the floor, with the singer landing on top of the officer, causing him to hit his head on the concrete and also hurt his hip. A photographer working the show, also a part of the lawsuit, alleged that he sustained a head injury after Songz threw a microphone stand at him. Oof. On January 24th of this year, Songz was arrested in Kansas City, Missouri, while attending a conference championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills. Songz was being heckled by fans, and he asked them to chill out. An officer came over from sources, a video released by TMZ, an altercation ensued. This altercation led to Songz' arrest and charges of trespassing, resisting arrest, both misdemeanors, and for assaulting a police officer, a low-grade felony. He was released from custody, and the next day, sources he was released from custody the next day. Sources connected to Songz with direct knowledge told TMZ he believes the officer in question had it in for him long before the altercation, and when the officer came over, he was immediately aggressive. Another source says that the officer's issue before the incident was that Trey Songz and his crew were not wearing masks because of the pandemic and refused to put them on. Kansas City Police Department released a security video from the section which showed Songz' party and had several warnings after multiple encounters, and with security and police eventually resulting in Songz being calmly escorted out of the seating area, at which point he threw the first punch at the police officer. Wow. Trey Songz is aggressive for some reason, and he's going to find himself in trouble with the law a lot, to the point where he may end up in jail. This is just my opinion, but I have some video for you. Go ahead and watch that, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
R&B singer Trey Songz is accused of attacking a woman during the NBA All-Star Weekend here in Los Angeles.
Well, today she told her story. CBS 2's Lisa Siegel has her words as well as what the artist's attorney has to say.
I was crying, terrified, in shock.
For the first time, the woman accusing Tremaine Neverson, also known as Trey Songz, of beating her so badly she ended up with a concussion, is speaking out about what happened the morning of February 17th. Her name is Andrea Buera.
I was attending an after party when Trey began yelling at me, choking me, punching me, and ultimately he knocked me to the ground.
Her attorney, Lisa Bloom, says the two had been friends for years, and he seemed to become enraged when she began talking to one of his friends.
I had to go to the hospital because he hit me so hard that I had a concussion.
Buera says the next day she had dark bruises on her body, face, and neck. Last week, she got a restraining order against Songz.
Trey Songz, you picked on the wrong woman this time.
Bloom says Songz has a history of allegations dating back at least a decade of verbally and physically assaulting others.
The day that Trey Songz allegedly attacked Andrea, he was already on probation in Michigan.
Songz attorney Sean Hawley told us, "We are cooperating with law enforcement through the proper channels and not in the media." Now, as for Buera, she felt she had to speak out and also has a message for her former friend.
Trey, I'd like an apology. I want you to get help. And although I'm not your first victim, I'd like to be your last.
Now, Bloom says they may consider a civil lawsuit in the future, but for now, her client hopes that anyone who saw the alleged incident and stayed silent will speak out. In Woodland Hills, I'm Lisa Siegel, CBS 2 News.